Joining us as he does each month on WHKY is District Attorney Scott Reilly, who represents the 36th Prosecutorial District. That's Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties. Thank you so much for coming in, as always.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
We have a lot to talk about, and one of the issues, and this is something that was new to me, I wasn't aware, there was some protests going on. There's an issue right now that I know a lot of folks are aware of with fentanyl overdoses. This has been a fatal drug in the community, in a lot of communities. And you say that in Burke County there were some protests over the fact that some of these penalties aren't as harsh as you would maybe like.
Exactly. It's very difficult to even make a charge. As you know, we've talked about the fentanyl that's coming in from the southern borders and unfortunately making it up into our three-county district and into our high schools. And the number of overdoses is just astounding. And the devastating effects it has on our young people and the families of people who've lost a loved one is just devastating. And they're wanting action. They're wanting somebody to pay the price. They're wanting some closure, and they're upset, rightfully so, that nothing seems to be being done. And we do have new laws that are trying to address this, and we charge people when we can with death by distribution. Unfortunately, there are specific elements of the crime that we have to prove, one being a sale of a controlled substance, the second element being that person that bought the controlled substance ingested that substance, and that ingestion was the proximate cause of the death. The hardest thing to prove is the sale, and our law enforcement officers are treating every overdose case as a homicide and looking at trying to find who sold, if anyone sold that substance to the deceased. It's very difficult. You have to try to get a confession. You try to look in the person's phone, look at their text messages, look at their Facebook accounts, but it's just rare that you're going to go look at a PayPal or Venmo and see, oh, I just purchased my controlled substance from Joe, my drug dealer. You just don't see that often. So I understand these people's frustrations, and I do want people to know that our law enforcement officers are working as hard as they can to bring justice to these families, and when we can prove these cases, we will charge them with death by distribution. We have a number of cases going in Catawba County, and we are trying our very best to bring closure, bring justice to the families, and to provide a deterrence to other people who might be thinking about engaging in this type of behavior. Death by distribution, when we can prove it, it's just like being convicted of second-degree murder. You will go to prison for a long period of time.
A lot of juvenile crime recently. We've been reporting on a shooting incident in Hickory in recent days with a number of 17-year-olds involved, and this is something that has really seemed to have picked up in the area.
It's just senseless. It's not gang members, it's not drug wars, it's not drug turf, it's young people thinking they're playing some big video game on TV, except this is real, with real guns and real people getting killed. And it is just so frustrating to me. I cannot tell you how many mothers I have looked at in the face and had conversations and said, if your son doesn't change his behavior, he is going to end up being in prison, or you're going to be wearing his picture on a t-shirt because he's going to be killed. And I am just devastated by the number of young people, the potential for having a good, productive life, and what they find themselves doing. The common denominator is lack of a father figure in the home, and it's just perpetuating itself from one generation to the next. And I'm at a loss of what to do. I'm meeting with the Lenore Ryan football team later today. These are people that I look up to, that members of the community look up to, and I'm going to be begging them to take any opportunity that they can to provide mentorship and to try to get into some of these young people's lives and to change them around and change some of this behavior.
Also, Denim and Diamonds is, we wrap up this month that, we're commemorating those who've suffered from child abuse and their fatalities, of course, from child abuse. And on April 29th, there's an event coming up.
Right. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, or Awareness Month, and it culminates on April 29th with the fundraiser Denims and Diamonds. There's an auction online, or buy tickets for the actual event itself on April 29th at Hart Square Village. It's going to be a wonderful event. There will be a silent auction there. It's their biggest fundraiser of the year, and it's a wonderful time for such an excellent cause.
Well, thank you so much for the information. Always a lot of information. I know you stay busy at the DA's office, but we appreciate you coming in and clarifying some of these things that are going on.
Right, I look forward to it, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Scott Reilly, our District Attorney, the 36th Prosecutorial District, that's Catawba, Burke, and Caldwell counties. He joins us on WHKY News each month.